going to go ahead and do a good old unfashioned unboxing video. We have the Orico NVMe M2 SSD enclosure. This was sent to us to review by Orico. We've got a dual language package printed in Chinese and English, and we've got most of our key specs here. We have the output. We've got USB 3.1 Type-C Gen 2, which means 10 gigs a second. We have a listed 2 terabyte capacity maximum. So what we don't see listed on the package that I know is listed on its Amazon listing is that this is limited to a N2 2280, which is not a particularly big deal. That's the standard size you'll see in desktops and laptops. What that does prevent you from using is the larger N2 22110, which is an enterprise device. So this is not the device you want if you have to validate that your SSD that you pulled out of a server is still good. Otherwise, it's going to do anything and everything you want. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We have our transparent enclosure. This looks design-wise fairly similar to a lot of PCIe add-in cards I've seen available. We have an included aluminum heatsink. This is designed to be held in by 4 screws from the looks of it. There's no drive, so there's currently a gap between the heatsink and the board. If we look at the board itself, we have these gold-plated copper contacts. We have 4 screw holes for the various sizes, everything from 2242 up to 2280. You don't see a lot of drives in between that. You can see we have a USB controller here to convert from PCIe NVMe to USB, and taking a look at that, we appear to have a J-Micron controller. Not inherently my favorite manufacturer for that type of device, but I don't know off the top of my head if anyone else even does. At one end we have our USB Type-C. This will let you attach it to both 5 and 10 gig Type-C ports on laptops, as well as Thunderbolt if you have a higher end device, and nothing on the back. It looks like we're held together by a couple of snaps. Go ahead and pop that off. Oh, the aluminum heatsink is actually not buried behind the plastic, which is good. That'll help with heat transfer. Put that over there, and let's see what all is included with this. We've got a couple of thermal pads and our retention screws. Looks like this is the type that's designed to have the brass barrel inserted on the end of the drive, and then you screw it from the back side of the board. We have a little user's manual. That's the Chinese side. That's actually a fair bit larger than I anticipated. So the cover slides open. You remove the PCB from the board. Install a screw into the mounting hole, fix the SSD by locking the screws in the back of the PCB, insert the enclosure. Alright, nothing particularly surprising or difficult in here. FCC note, declaration note, no mention of a warranty in here. Or on the box, although there is an email support and a phone number listed on the box. I would guess that it probably comes with a standard 1-year warranty, but I am going to have to check their product listing. I'm surprised that's not included in the user's manual. And then we have the thank you for choosing our drive card. Here's how to contact us for support. We reply within 24 hours. And we get an included tiny screwdriver. This is a surprise. This is a USB Type A to Type C cable. That'll allow you to hook this up to any USB device. And then we have a bog standard Type C to Type C, rated for 10 gigs. All in all, not a bad package. Let's go ahead and pop it open and take a look. Oh, that slides open nice and easy. Okay, it looks like we don't have to actually reattach the heatsink. The heatsink is part of the sliding plate. And this printed circuit board just pops out right like that. Now that we've got it out, let's see if that'll focus on that. If not, it says this is a JMS 583. Okay. And we've got a nice little foam pad installed on top of the M2 connector. Let's see, and I believe I have a drive I can throw into this really quick. It's not the one that I'll be using for the review, but it happens to be sitting on the shelf here. I may actually run this just for the sake of it. I've got here a 250 gig Mushkin Pilot. This is using a Silicon Motion 2262G controller. And like most Mushkin devices, this appears to be using Micron flash. Let's see if I can pop this little sticker up to take a look. No, I'm not going to be able to do that without destroying it, which I don't want to do yet. So let's go ahead, and we're going to install it without the thermal pads just because I don't intend to use this drive for the review, so I don't want to damage those. They look like they're probably single use. So that slides in like that. We have our brass fixing nut. There we go. So there's an audible click. That's a very stiff connection, which is good. And let's go ahead and just slide that screw in. Alright, that took no time at all. Like I said, I'm skipping the thermal pad since I'm going to take this drive out in a minute. I have a Intel 660p that I want to actually use for the review that's listed on their list of suggested drives, and for a mobile device like this, has a price to capacity ratio that would make it my recommendation as well. However, everybody's in, everybody fits. There's a little bit of a gap between the SSD's controller and this aluminum plate that would be resolved by these thermal pads. That's what you want to put the thermal pad on if you're installing an SSD in it. The memory packages are not your primary source of heat. The controller is, and that's going to be any performance degradation you see in a device like this. All in all, fairly impressive package. I'll have to look up the price and double check that, but assuming that it works as intended, which I have no reason to think it won't, I'm fairly impressed out of the box.